Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what is not only the first inaugural video of this entire series that we're going to be playing today, but also, and this is something I'm super excited for, the very first inaugural video of this entire channel. And that, like I said, makes me super stoked. I have been wanting to do YouTube for a very long time, ever since the good old Call of Duty 4 days, back when I was watching Hutch and CNanners, back when FPS Russia was actually making videos on YouTube with Call of Duty. Those were the golden days, let me just say, golden days. So, today, we are playing The Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth 2. And let me just say, this is one of my favorite all-time games ever. Seriously, one of my favorites. Top 5 for sure. I remember playing this game when I was a kid almost all the time, back when the community online was super live and there were custom games. It was amazing. It was a simpler time. Now the game is unfortunately a little bit dead. I think the community is around like maybe 500 people that play this game regularly. So unfortunately, kind of died off on us. But the game still holds up, and it's still one of the best RTS games ever, in my opinion. And it's one of those few rare games that I think is just perfect right out of the box. Granted, when the game first came out, the beginning factions, some of them were a little bit overpowered, namely the dwarves, where if you played as the dwarves, you basically won. It was an auto-concede type of condition. That's how overpowered the dwarves were. So, today, we are going to be starting up the good campaign on hard difficulty, of course, we're not plebs. Sadly, there is no brutal difficulty in this game for the campaign, which is a damn shame, because it would make it that much more difficult and that much more interesting. It's kind of weird because you can play skirmishes with brutal AI, but not in the campaign. Don't really know why. But let's get started. Let's skip all the other formalities. Let's dive in. But first off, we are going to listen to Hugo Weaving's beautiful, amazing, sexy narration voice.
In the final years of the Third Age, Middle-earth stands on the brink of destruction. The Free Peoples are under threat from Sauron, the Lord of the Rings, who prepares his vast armies for war. At this late hour, the leaders of elves, dwarves, and men come together at the Council of Elrond to decide their next move.
Where's Frodo? Oh, there he is. Mr. Frodo!
After the Fellowship is assembled and heads south to destroy the source of Sauron's power, the remaining leaders prepare for the Dark Lord's assault upon the northern lands. The elven and dwarven races have always had little trust for each other, but now they must unite and fight a common enemy.
Oh, is that? Yeah, it is. It's Dragon. He is one of the most annoying enemies that you have to fight against if you're playing against goblins. And you fight him in the campaign too, which is a mission we're going to get to, but he is... oh, so annoying. It is some beautiful concept art. Right, before we actually get into the gameplay, these are going to be powers that we can use. So right off the bat, we're going to get Elven Gifts, which gives our heroes plus 50% damage, which is really amazing, especially given the fact that in the campaign, heroes, I would say, are pretty essential when you can have them. I think you can have them on every single mission, but I'm not entirely sure. But it just makes heroes so much better and really completely destroys your enemies.
Del must go to the house of Elrond and inform the Lord of the approaching goblins.
Sure thing. Oh, look at that.
Goblins! Let's kill them!
So, quick note in the beginning of the video. This first mission is a bit uneventful, if I'm gonna have to be honest. So hopefully you bear with me and stick through to the end. I promise that once we get to the second mission in the campaign, things start ramping up exponentially. And the reason for that is that this first mission is really just a introductory mission to introduce players, mainly new players, obviously, to the mechanics of the game. So not much happens. Face off against very weak units. Goblin archers and goblin warriors are extremely weak. They're really bad, especially going up against elves and overpowered heroes with elven gifts. So not much is gonna happen. So I'm sorry, but it does get better, like I said. Really. I really do think that BFME has some of the best campaigns in any game that I've played. GG easy, my friends. You know, it makes me wonder though, what the hell is going through these goblins' minds, the feeble little brains, that they have the balls to attack Rivendell directly. It's stupid, but it's commendable. You know, I respect their courage. Brave, but foolish goblins.
I know these parts.
Hello. Open the gates, please. I would like to, but open the gates. Thank you. Oh, it's Glowin and Elrond, who's an absolute G. I love Elrond. So sick. Glowin's also pretty badass too. The father of Gimli. I mean, look at that. Look at that hammer. Look at it. It's like half of his size. Absolutely massive.
What brings you back so soon, Elf? The goblins have come down from the mountains. They're approaching from the south.
You gotta love the early 2000s animations. Although, they're not that bad. I laugh, but they're honestly not that bad. It could be a lot worse.
Train more warriors at the Elven barracks to fight off the goblin invasion.
So as you can see, they're introducing you to the ways of training troops. You don't actually get to build your base. That comes in the second mission. So the first and second missions are really ways to introduce new people to the game, to base building, production, and things of that nature. But the second mission actually gets a lot more interesting because you have more freedom. But it is really cool that you get to play in Rivendell. Come on, Rivendell is amazing. A picturesque elven community. Gotta love it. Oh, drums. Drums in the deep. Let's get our heal.
The heal spell can restore our soldiers' health.
Thank you, narrator.
The goblins will pay for this. This way, elves.
That's good thinking, Elrond.
Rally together, elves.
I love your
We bring swords from Lorien.
like the motivation.
Some archers have arrived to the west.
Archers.
Keep your wits
Awesome.
sharp. May our weapons be true.
One of the cooler things in this game is that you can actually put your units into a formation. It's something that you never actually use in the game ever, unless you just want to look like a complete badass. But it almost never is a good thing to do. You're better off commanding your troops one by one.
We must act now.
Oh, it's a giant. Well, we're gonna kill that giant easy peasy really quickly. One of the, I think one of the most funniest things in this game, if not the most funny thing in this game, is that the AI is coded in such a silly way that makes it very easy to win against brutal armies in skirmishes. Because the way they play,
Rivendell must not fall.
as you can see, they're completely ignoring my troops. Completely, well, now they actually engaged. But they were about to completely ignore my troops
We must act
and
now.
go straight for either this barracks or the Malon tree. Almost all the time, it's gonna be the Malon
People
tree.
are in danger.
So
We've destroyed a
the
goblin
best
camp to the
strategy
west of
to
here.
win against brutal armies when you're playing skirmish
There are more
is
goblins
to
setting up
just
camp across the
play
river.
defensively and defend your production buildings.
The
It's
eye is
boring,
fixed on Rivendell.
but it's almost the only way to build
Goblins are coming.
and
They're just beyond
play.
the river.
We must
Because otherwise you get overwhelmed. Because for some reason,
People are in danger.
I think Brutal starts off with like 4,000 resources, whereas you start off with 1,000. So, Brutal uses hacks in this game, confirmed.
The eye is fixed on Rivendell.
And I would honestly say that it's much more difficult and much more engaging to play against a beginner player online than
People are in danger.
Brutal. Because you can't actually learn good tactics when playing against Brutal because of the way the Brutal AI is programmed in these games. Fun fact, though, something that just came into my mind that I remembered, is this game. I remember when I was a kid, and my parents and I would always go to Barnes & Noble, which, by the way, as a kid, I always pronounced Barnes and Noble. So, shows how much I knew as a little wee lad. But whenever we went to Barnes & Noble,
Minions of Sauron end here.
I would always go to the Guinness Book of World Records section and open up and read it because I always wanted the yearly edition of the Guinness Book of World Records. And I remember reading the entry in the game section that this game, The Battle for Middle-earth, held the record for the longest video game title ever, which is really freaking cool. I'm not sure if that's still current. I'm not sure if a new game came out and took that record from the game, but it's still really cool. So as you can see, not much is really happening. We're going around completely decimating these goblins, destroying their buildings. And that's gonna be pretty much... Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a worm! Shit, forgot about this. Completely forgot about the worm. Doesn't matter. It's gonna die easy peasy anyway. Look at that, it's almost dead. And we won! Just like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. First mission, done and done. That, I think, is a quote from the first game. Back when they actually got the entire cast of the movies to
Under siege from the goblins
do
of the
voice work
Misty
for the games,
Mountains,
which is pretty cool.
Rivendell is no longer safe for the elves. As time is now running out, Elrond forms a plan to unite the elves and dwarves of the north against Sauron's advancing armies. his most powerful warrior, Rivendell, will join forces with the dwarf leader Glowin to make war on the goblins and forge this
Oh,
alliance.
yes! So pumped. You cannot tell me you don't see an army of elves and dwarves with Glorfindel and Glowin at the front, and you don't get excited. Alright, so that was the first mission. I know it was a little bit boring. Like I said, it's pretty uneventful. But now, once we play the second mission, things are going to start ramping up rather quickly and get a lot more interesting and a lot more engaging. So if you stuck around to the end, thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like. If not, that's fine. It's okay. I'll manage. I'm not going to go curl up in a ball or something and bawl my eyes out. No, definitely not. Definitely not. But in seriousness, thank you so much for watching. Really, really, really do hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more, we're definitely going to be playing through the entire campaign. So the next episode is going to be with the second mission and then so on and so forth. So take care. Thank you again and have a good one. I'll see you guys in the next episode.